So hi guys, they say money talks, but sometimes it's not your money, is it? So unfortunately I had to borrow some money to take photos of it. So a friend of mine works in the bank, I had a little chat to him, and they've allowed me to photograph some of the money. There are rules and regulations about photographing money, obviously due to fraud and reprinting and things like that. Obviously you're not really supposed to be doing. These are images of notes, so they are as a collage style. I will leave a link below that you can click on, and it shows you what banks of England and stuff, what you can do with them, about replicating them and things like that. And obviously in a digital way it looks like it's okay to do. So if I am wrong I might have to delete this, but I don't think I am. But I say there's a link below, you can have a read, and I think it's okay to do what I'm doing. But anyway, on the Sony A1, the Sony A7R4, Sony A7R3, I don't know if it can do it on the A7 IV, but on my cameras I've owned, you can have pixel shift, and that basically means the sensor will move around and take up to 16 images while the sensor moves about, and gives you more resolution. Very clever how it works. You have to have a very stationary subject, i.e. something on the floor, a landscape with nothing moving in it at all, a product or something like that, or like in this case some money. It can give you extra resolution. So obviously if we talk about the A1, this is a 50 megapixel image and it's at 126%. If I click to the what says 200 megapixels, is actually 199. I just didn't want to get ripped apart there by people by the extra 1 megapixel. But that is basically 199 megapixel image. So we can still keep going in and in and in, and it still looks pretty good. And we're starting to see the actual printing pixels from obviously when the money was printed, not necessarily the pixelation from the camera. So it becomes quite difficult to see what's real, kind of thing. But when we start flicking between, you can see the sharpness difference. And if I you can click between there, that's the 50 megapixel image, and that's the 199. There's so much more detail and it's a lot sharper. So in some respects it's actually very, very handy to use, and it's the kind of thing I've used before for very large prints of certain things for particular jobs. So it just gives you that much extra sharpness, detail and everything in an image that, especially if they're being printed at full resolution. So I just thought I'd show you guys just a quick simple shot of, that's basically a 50 megapixel version that's zoomed in, and the 199 megapixels. And then when you zoom out, this is how ridiculous it actually is. That's the full image, and it's sharp at the edges, no issues whatsoever. Absolutely nuts. I used one light, so I used my Rotolight EOS, and it was fired from the right hand side of the image. As you can see here, probably a couple of shadows. There's a little bit of shadowing here. You'll see where is it? Some other shadows as well, which kind of gives it a bit of a more 3D feel. So it looks like the money is stacked up as it is. So it's just piled up, and gives you a little bit of depth into the actual pile of money there. I just thought it was really quite cool. Just an experiment, and yeah, I mean, I like the fact that the money's not in perfect condition. It's got creases and folds in it like the new plastic money does. It sits in your wallet, doesn't it? You end up with a crease in it and stuff like that. So yeah, I just thought it was quite cool to do, and just showed, obviously, even though that's still a very, very sharp image, when you compare it to this one, you know, it's suddenly, you know, noticeably different, you know, which is, that's what I mean. It's a clever bit of kit, and I know Pentax have used it in their cameras, and I think Olympus as well do. They do it on, because they got smaller sensors, they can kind of like process it for you in camera whilst you're still working. But the Sony stuff, obviously the sensor's bigger, there's a lot more data to shift, and I actually prefer having the you know, you have to process the images into the 199 megapixel image afterwards, because what that does is it actually gives you 16 shots at 60 megapixels, or 50 megapixels, which I can then pick one of those if I want to. But if I do want to go to the 199 megapixels, I can. You can also do a 4 image as well, and that basically just gives you still the 50 megapixels but a sharper image, because it just overlays, and you end up with a stacked image, which should give you a little bit more detail, a little bit sharper image. But the 199 megapixel one is quite crazy. So if we look at the image size, bring it down, 17280 by 11520, which is 199.0 something or other, compared to this one. If we go to image size, which is 86405760 at 300 resolution wise, pixels per inch. The other thing as well is, go back to this one, you can look at the size of the image itself. It's 1.18 gigabytes in size compared to 151.8 megapixels. Sorry, megabytes, not megapixels. So 151 megabytes. But obviously, if you save that as a JPEG, but this one's saved as a TIFF, and it's 1.18 gig, which is crazy. But you know, absolutely amazing for the print. I mean, I've got some other ideas that I want to do. I've got an opportunity to do something with some cars as well, so I'd quite like to print a life-size car, possibly. We shall see. That's one idea. But I'd love to see this money printed massive. You know, so a £20 note, for example, is the size of, you know, double A4 piece of paper or something, but it's still with all that quality and, you know, there. But we shall see. There's some ideas going around that I might have a little play. So anyway, I've hopefully found it a little bit interesting, and the fact that, you know, you can just keep zooming in and zooming in and zooming in, and it's just crazy. Yeah, really, really crazy. And like I say, there is a link below about, obviously, just reading about how you can use money, like photograph it and stuff like that. So hopefully I haven't broken any laws or anything like that, because it did read like that I was okay if I could do stuff like this. So anyway, like I say, don't forget to click the subscribe button, little notification bell as well, and there'll be new videos coming soon. I've been out with the RX10 Mark IV. Weather's been lovely, so there'll be a new video of that coming as well, and I'll see you soon.